The screen is
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is
program.
visible, sir.
ఇది
Sir,
కనబడుతుందమ్మా కమిషన్
No,
ఆఫ్
sir.
కాలేజ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ నో
No,
No, sir.
వెయిట్ అమ్మ మేడం నాకు స్క్రీన్ ఆప్షన్ ఇచ్చారా రైట్ నౌ ఇట్స్ విజిబుల్ అమ్మా
Yes, sir.
ఓకే ఓకే this is Padala Tirupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. In the program, we are in the program of Faculty Exchange Program by Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal, and along with our prestigious college, that is RBBR Reddy Women's College, Narayanguda, Hyderabad. Okay. Okay. Today we are going to discuss about mitochondria. Are you heard about the term mitochondria?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mitochondria. Okay. What is the main function of this mitochondria? Earlier classes you have already studied about this mitochondria.
Sir, 1 minute, sir.
Mitochondria.
Your voice is not clear, sir.
1 minute.
Girls, sir, today start the respiration, ma. Before respiration, explain to the cell organelle, okay? When I am to explain the photosynthesis, before photosynthesis, I'll explain the chlorophyll, no? Like that, sir, also to explain to the before respiration, that to cell organelle, okay? Okay, girls?
Okay, ma'am.
No, it's audible, Amma? It's audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, today's topic we are going to discuss mitochondria. So mitochondria belongs to, in our all eukaryotic cell organelles contain mitochondria. It is very useful for making of the energy. So energy, the storage of energy and the storage house of cell. What we can say that mitochondria is storage of energy. So energy storage house. Mitochondria is consists of all eukaryotic cell all eukaryotic cells, and prokaryotic cells does not contain this mitochondria. The prokaryotic cells, how they can make their energy and remaining functions, just because of mitochondria place or mitochondria does not contain in all prokaryotic cell organelles. That all prokaryotic cells have mesosomes. So mesosomes are functioning of this mitochondria functions. Mitochondria functions are done by mesosomes in prokaryotic living organs or all prokaryotic cells. Whereas eukaryotic cells contain 2 unit membranous cell organelles like chloroplast, mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus. These are the some cell organelles contain all eukaryotic cells. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about this mitochondria. Why we are going to discuss in this class about mitochondria? Because our actual topic is respiration. You know, our actual topic is, tell me, our actual topic is respiration. But respiration, the entire respiration depends upon this mitochondria functioning, my dear friends. So mitochondria is especially for a cell respiration, anaswasakriya, cell respiration. So cell respiration is done by mitochondria. So that's why we are entire function. Which type of functions are being on
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
eukaryotic cell? So voice is breaking.
Yes, sir.
Now it's now audible, Amma? Yeah. So mitochondria is a double membranous bound organelle found in cytoplasm of eukaryotic cells. So prokaryotic cell does not contain mitochondria. All eukaryotic cells contain mitochondria. It is a double unit membranous cell organelle. What is the meaning of mitoma? Mito means thread-like structure. Then chondria means granule-like structures. So thread-like and granule-like structure. So mito means thread and chondrion means granule. So mitochondria first observed in 1894 by Richard Altman. Before Altman, Kollikar called as granules. Kollikar called these mitochondria as granules. But in 1894, Richard Altman has called these mitochondria called as bioplasts. But we can say that Richard Altman called these mitochondria is bioplasts. In 1898, Benda, the actual term mitochondria. Benda coined the actual term of mitochondria. Before Benda, Altman called as bioplast. Before Altman, Kollikar is a scientist. Kollikar was a scientist called as granules. So Kollikar called granules. Okay, Kollikar called as granules. See here, Richard Altman called as bioplast, and Carl Benda in 1898 actual term, that is mitochondria coined. So Benda is actual name given this cell organelle. They produce enzymes for the metabolic conversion. Actually, these mitochondria can able to produce metabolitic activities. Then mitochondria is also called as powerhouse of the cell. Powerhouse of the cell. So energy storage house or powerhouse of the cell. So mitochondria are responsible for the conversion of nutrients. What are the nutrients? Are you heard of the nutrients, different nutrients? No, and taking of the nutrients with the food, with our daily food, intaking of the food, different nutrients is there. They are the primary nutrients or macro and micronutrients, along with that carbohydrate, proteins and lipids. There are belongs to nutrients. Into the nutrients are converted into energy. That is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. ATP is also called as cell currency, my dear friends. ATP is also called as cell currency. So this ATP to fuel the cell activities. So whenever we are moving or riding the bikes, so bike moves with the help of petroleum, fuel. So that's why our human body are all living organisms, all cells, this ATP used as a fuel. The function of known as aerobic respiration. The main function of this mitochondria is aerobic respiration. In the region of mitochondria are frequently referred to as the powerhouse of the cell. So aerobic respiration takes place in the mitochondria, and also the nutrients are going to conversion into ATP by mitochondria. That's why this mitochondria we can call as powerhouse of the cell. Is it clear, Amma? Is it clear, my dear friends?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In this aerobic respiration, different steps we are going to discuss. What are the steps involving in aerobic respiration, my dear friends? One is glycolysis, second one Krebs cycle, and the third one is electron transport system or electron transport chain. These are the three steps, or these are the three important physiological activities or metabolic activities we are observed in the aerobic respiration. The first step or the most important step, that is glycolysis. So glycolysis in the aerobic respiration and also anaerobic respiration, the gateway of the respiration, that is glycolysis, my dear friends. Okay, glycolysis we will discuss next class, and Krebs cycle another class, and electron transportation chain is next class. But today we are going to discuss about the complete picture, the complete structure and functions of the mitochondria, my dear friends. Is it clear?
Yes,
We
sir.
will go to move to next slide, Amma. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So the origin of mitochondria. But how this mitochondria is originated from earlier to our primitive cell organelles to our primitive cells to eukaryotic cells, or highly evolved cells. The mitochondria derived from bacteria by a process termed as endosymbiosis. Are you heard about the term symbiosis, my dear friends? Symbiosis. Symbiosis means two organisms, or two living organisms, association with two living organisms. They are benefited. That is, we can call as symbiosis. Well, that is one of the living type, symbiosis. So these mitochondria are derived from bacteria by a process termed as endosymbiosis. This mitochondria arose about 2 billion years ago. Though, are you heard about our Earth is arose? How many billion years ago? 4 billion years ago. 4 billion years ago, when a bacterium fused with an archaeal cell or established a symbiotic relationship with a primitive eukaryotic cell. What is the primitive cell, eukaryotic cell, Amma? What is a primitive eukaryotic cell? What is the first living organism in the entire Earth? Anybody can respond. What is the first living organism in the entire Earth? You are already studied in your first semester. Cyanobacteria, you know, blue-green algae. So blue-green algae is the first living organism in the entire Earth. 3 billion years ago, blue-green algae is evolved, you know, from the primordial soup. Stanley Miller has proved evidentially, okay, from oceanic environment. So this primitive eukaryotic cell is blue-green algae is not eukaryotic cell. Blue-green algae is prokaryotic cell. But the first primitive eukaryotic cell is algae, chlorophyceae members, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyceae, Xanthophyceae. These are all belongs to algae. They belongs to primitive eukaryotic cell, you know, the Halophyta members. So these bacteria from archaeal cell are established in a symbiotic relationship with a primitive eukaryotic cell. We are observed in this image, clearly. The closest extant relatives of bacteria that gave rise to mitochondria are rickettsia. So rickettsia is a bacteria, you know, rickettsia. Okay, rickettsia is a bacteria. These mitochondria is close relatives of the bacteria that gave rise to mitochondria rickettsia. Okay, the first person to recognize mitochondria as a descendants of endosymbiotic bacteria was Ivan. Ivan is a scientist. First recognized these mitochondria as descendants of endosymbiotic bacteria. So this we are observed in this image, that is aerobic prokaryote. This is the aerobic prokaryote. Then this is the photosynthetic prokaryote. Photosynthetic prokaryote is, you know, photosynthetic prokaryote is blue-green algae, my dear friends. Photosynthetic prokaryote is blue-green algae. The first photosynthetic organism in the entire Earth is prokaryote is blue-green algae. That is cyanobacteria, Nostoc, Anabina, oscillatoria. You are already studied in your first semester, my dear friends. So this photosynthetic prokaryote, and along with this aerobic prokaryote. So both they are going to combine or fuse. Okay, so that's evolved from the bacteria. So this is the clear picture about shows how the endosymbiotic theory by Ivan. Ivan is a scientist, you know. So this is the prokaryote, the proto-eukaryote. Proto-eukaryote means earlier eukaryote. Earlier from eukaryotic, the beginning of earlier. That is a proto-eukaryote. This proto-eukaryote going to find, that is the complete structure of the binucleated nucleus, or unit membranous structure is surrounded by the nucleoplasm, that is the nucleus, and this is the endoplasmic reticulum. And similarly, the evolution is the evolution. In the evolutionary process, the remaining cell organelles are going to form in the eukaryotic cell, that is mitochondria. So this is endoplasmic reticulum. So this is aerobic bacterium is going to fuse or enter into the proto-eukaryote and to form a complete structure of the mitochondria. So at the same time, along with this mitochondria, then photosynthetic bacterium is also going to enter into the proto-eukaryote to form or to show, that is chloroplast. At the same time, aerobic bacterium is going to modify into mitochondria. So this theory shows about the complete evolution. That is shows about the how chloroplasts are evolved and how the mitochondria is evolved from the proto-eukaryote to complete eukaryote cells. So eukaryote cells contain, along with this mitochondria, the chloroplast is also inside the cytoplasm of the eukaryotic cell. So this theory about endosymbiosis, the endosymbiotic theory given by Iwan. Okay, then the another one is biogenesis. The biogenesis, according to the biogenesis, they grow by importing most of their proteins from the cytoplasm and by internal synthesis of some proteins and replication of the genome. Similar to cells, mitochondria divide and fuse with other mitochondria, maintaining their number of cells. So both fusion and fission, along with fusion and fission. Fusion means all the proteins. See here, the first point we are observing in this slide, they grow by importing most of their proteins from the cytoplasm and by internal synthesis of some proteins and replication of the genome to form mitochondria. At the same time, the second point shows about the fission. Fission means it's going to divide. Okay, so fusion and fission. Here, we are observed here, my dear friends. See here, this is a fission. This is fission. So see here, so the mother cell is going to produce two daughter mitochondria cells. At the same time, this fusion process, two cells are going to fuse and to produce the one entire mitochondria cells. So this is the circular manner. This is the cyclic process. See here, the one mother cell is going to produce two daughter mitochondria cells and two daughter mitochondria in the process of fission, and in the process of fusion, two daughter mitochondria cells are going to form a complete one mother mitochondria cell. We are observed in this slide. Then this is the complete structure about mitochondria. This is the mitochondria cell. So mitochondria cell organelle. Have you studied about in your earlier class, intermediate, 10th class and lower classes? You are already studied about the minimum basic knowledge related to this mitochondria. Is it clear? But at the same time, we are going to recollect the information. This slide is visible, my dear friends. This slide is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in this structure we are observed. So this is the outer membrane. This is the outer membrane of the mitochondria. This is outer membrane of the mitochondria. And my dear friends, inside we are observed the number of folded structure we are observed in the matrix. The folded structures we can call as that is the folded structure is able to produce by inner membrane. So inner membrane is produce number of folds inside the matrix of the mitochondria. So this is the smooth structure, that is outer membrane. The inner membrane produce or shows number of folds inside the matrix. So this is matrix, my dear friends, and these folds are related to the inner membrane. The folds of this inner membrane we can call as cristae. Krishna, that is cristae. That is cristae. So cristae is nothing but folds of the inner membrane. Is it clear? My dear friends, here the inner membrane and outer membrane, outer membrane, between these two membranes, the space we are observed, the space we can call as perimitochondrial space. The space between two membranes we can call as perimitochondrial space. Perimitochondrial space. Okay, outer membrane and inner membrane, these two membrane, between these two membrane, little bit of space we are observed, the space we can call as periplastidial space. Why we can say that? This structure you are already studied in your earlier classes. Why we can study here? Because the outer membrane of the mitochondria and inner membrane of the mitochondria, along with this perimitochondrial space is also very useful for, we are at the time of going to discuss about the electron transportation chain in the process of oxidative phosphorylation. So that's why we are going to go through here and recollect the information from our previous knowledge. So this one is the outer membrane and this one is the inner membrane, and between these two membrane space we can call as periplastidial space. And my dear friends, inside the mitochondria, the matrix, the number of abundant enzymes and ribosomes and some of the granules also present inside the mitochondria, that is we can call as matrix. So matrix contain abundant enzymes related to respiratory enzymes. Along with that, my dear friends, that along with this, in this mitochondria contain ribosomes. My dear friends, these ribosomes are 70S type of ribosomes. Already we are discussed in earlier classes, my dear friends, in your 5th semester, that is cell biology. Ribosomes are in prokaryotic cells are contain 70S type of ribosomes, and at the same time, I will show here, at the same time, prokaryotic cells contain 70S type of ribosomes. At the same time, eukaryotic type of cells contain 80S type of ribosomes. These ribosomes are first identified by or discovered by Palade. So that's why these ribosomes we can call as Palade granules. So these 70S ribosomes contain two subunits, that is a larger subunit and smaller subunit. Larger subunit and smaller subunit. Larger subunit is 50S type of 50S and smaller is 30S. At the same time, eukaryotic ribosomes, that is 80S type of ribosomes, contain two subunits. One is larger subunit and the other one is smaller subunit. The larger subunit is 60S and the smaller subunit 40S, my dear friends. You have already studied in your earlier classes. At the same time, we are discussing here about the ribosomes. So ribosomes in this mitochondria, mitochondria contain ribosomes are 70S type of ribosomes. So 70S type of ribosomes also contain in this matrix of the mitochondria. Along with these ribosomes, my dear friends, at the same time circular DNA also present inside the matrix of the mitochondria. So circular DNA also present in this mitochondria. So circular DNA inside the matrix, circular DNA is also present inside the matrix. So this DNA we can call as empty DNA, my dear friends. Which DNA? Empty DNA or mitochondrial DNA, my dear friends. Inside the matrix, ribosomes, granules are present, and at the same time, circular DNA is also present inside the mitochondria. Some thousands of the copies, from 10,000, more than 1,000 to 10,000, more than 10,000 of the circular DNA copies are present inside the matrix of the mitochondria. So this DNA we can call as empty DNA or mitochondrial DNA. Empty DNA or mitochondrial DNA. My dear friends, see here, these are the circular DNA. These are the circular DNA. See here, circular DNA. Is it clear? Actually, our DNA is not circular DNA, you know. That is spiral. The spiral nature, double stranded DNA. Here, these are the double stranded but circular manner, my dear friends. Double stranded circular DNA present inside the mitochondrial matrix. So this DNA we can call as empty DNA or mitochondrial DNA. Are you feel Borama? Are you clear? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I hope you understood. What about I am explain in this slide. We will move for next slide, Emma.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So in this slide, what we are discussing? So outer membrane. This is outer membrane and this is the inner membrane. Between two membrane, the little bit of space is present. That is we can call as perimitochondrial space or intermembrane space or perimitochondrial space. At the same time, the inner membrane shows a number of folds inside the matrix. The folds we can call as cristae, and matrix contain abundant enzymes related to useful for the respiration enzymes. At the same time, ribosomes, granules, and circular double-stranded DNA also present inside the matrix. At the same time, in this folds, these folds are useful for the synthesis of ATP. Synthesis of ATP that we can call as ATP synthase particles or ATP synthase enzymes also present in these folds, my dear friends. Okay, next we will move for next slide. So this mitochondria at the same time plant cell and animal cells, which where is the location of this mitochondria? Where is the location, Amma? Anybody can tell? The location of the mitochondria. The location of the mitochondria of the animal cell along with this plant cell are the cytoplasm of the cytoplasm. At the same time, the corners are the peripheral space. Okay, very nearer to the cell wall or nearer to the plasma membrane. Is it clear? How many mitochondria are present, my dear friends? Anybody? How many mitochondria are present inside the cytoplasm? Depends upon the age. The mitochondria are present depends upon the age and also the depends upon the metabolic activities. The mitochondria we are observed inside the cytoplasm of the plant cell and animal cells also. This mitochondria definitely present all eukaryotic cells, animal and plant cells, not present in prokaryotic cells. So the morphology of this mitochondria, the size of the mitochondria is 0.05 to 1.0 micrometers. Okay. What is the size, Amma? 0.05 to 1.0 micrometer in size. The length of the mitochondria is 1 to 10 micrometer long. And shape of the mitochondria. Which shape of the shape? The shape of the mitochondria is bean shaped. Bean shaped. In fibroblast, it is elongated and thread-like structures. Fibroblast cells, these mitochondria in animals, in all animals, these fibroblasts are present in animal cells. In animal cells, these mitochondria, the shape of the mitochondria is elongated and thread-like structure we are observed. Okay. And number, how many number of these mitochondria present of the cell? Already studied, already we discussed, depends upon the type and size and function state of the cell. Because the more energy we needed, the mitochondrial structure is also increased inside the cell, inside the cytoplasm of the cell. Is it clear? An average liver cell of the animal cell, the liver cell contain around 1500 mitochondria. 1500 mitochondria. Is it clear? How many number of mitochondria are present inside the cytoplasm? depends upon the type and depends upon the size and function of the function state of the cell. So that's why the mitochondria number is increased. Why what we can observe, the time the cell is going to divide or the cell is going to absorb use the plenty of energy. The energy is needed, the mitochondria number is increased. The energy is not needed of the cell, the mitochondria number is decreased. So that is depends upon the size and function state of the cell. At the same time, an average liver cell contain how many number? 1500, around 1500 mitochondria inside the cell. And structure of this mitochondria, mitochondria contain outer membrane, inner membrane space, that is also we can call as perimitochondrial space, inner membrane, cristae, matrix. These are the structure we are observing in the mitochondria. Then outer membrane. The outer membrane and inner membrane is composed of phospholipid bilayer and proteins. The membrane, my dear friends, the membrane of the mitochondria is made up of phospholipid bilayer and proteins. So that's also we can call as lipoprotein bilayer or lipoproteins. Okay, the two membranes have different properties. Okay, so this is the structure related to mitochondria. So this is outer membrane, inner membrane. Between two membranes, intermembrane space or perimitochondrial space, and this is the matrix, and the fold we can call as cristae. Then outer membrane. Outer membrane is made up of a simple phospholipid bilayer. It encloses the mitochondrion, contain large number of integral protein structures called porins. Are you heard about the term porins, Sama? Porins. So porins is a special type of proteins which are useful for the facilitated diffusion from all plasma membranes, my dear friends. All plasma membranes contain these porins. The porins are the small granular structure of the proteins which are helpful for the passage of the small granular structures from outer membrane to inside the cell. So that's why these porins are present all plasma membrane along with this outer membrane of the mitochondria, which allows molecules to freely diffuse from one side of the membrane to the other. That is we can call as facilitated diffusion, my dear friends. Facilitated diffusion. This facilitated diffusion does not need any energy. For the movements of the molecules from the outside membrane to inside the cell. And my dear friends, these porins pass molecules less than 5,000 Dalton molecules. So then Daltons and nutrients molecules ATP, ADP, etc. can pass through the outer membrane with ease or very easily through these porins. The outer mitochondrial membrane is composed of about 50% of the phospholipids by weight and contains a variety of enzymes. Then the second membrane or intermembrane space. The intermembrane space also we can call as perimitochondrial space. We are already discussed. The space between inner membrane and outer membrane we can call as perimitochondrial space, and it has high proton concentration gradients, my dear friends. This is very, very important, my dear friends, at the time of oxidative phosphorylation in the electron transportation chain. The space between inner and outer membrane is approximately 70 angstrom units. How many angstrom units, Amma? 70 angstrom units. Because the outer membrane is freely permeable to small molecules, the concentration of small molecules such as ions and sugars in the intermembrane space is same as that of the cytosol. Proteins present participate in ATP synthesis, but when released into the cytoplasm trigger. Then the inside the membrane, or that is we can call as inner membrane. This inner membrane is freely permeable only to oxygen, carbon dioxide and water. So this is only the selective permeable membrane. This inner membrane is also we can call as selective permeable membrane. Why we can say that selective permeability membrane? Because this inner membrane is freely permeable only, that is selected oxygen and carbon dioxide, that is the gases, exchange of the gases from the inside to out or outside to inside of the mitochondria or cell. And along with these gases, water molecules also is permeable or allowing from the outside, so outer membrane to inner membrane. The inner mitochondrial membrane contains proteins that perform redox reactions in oxidative phosphorylation, ATP synthase, transport proteins, protein import machinery, and mitochondria fusion and fission protein, my dear friends. We are already discussed about the endosymbiosis theory given by Ivan. That is, here we are observed this mitochondria fusion and fission of the protein. These are the reactions we are observed inside the inner membrane or in the part of the cristae. That is redox reactions, oxidative phosphorylation, ATP synthase. ATP synthase is an enzyme, you know. ATP synthase is an enzyme which is useful for the synthesis of the ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Along with this, transport of the proteins or protein transporters and import of the proteins machinery, that is the complex process we are observed inside the inner membrane. And several antipode system exists allowing exchange of ions between the cytosol and mitochondrial membrane. The next important term, that is cristae. Cristae are the folds of inner mitochondrial membrane. So inner mitochondrial membrane can able to produce or form the folds are inside the matrix. And why anybody can ask why cristae cristae are formed in the matrix or the inner membrane, inner mitochondria or inner membrane. Why inner membrane to form this cristae? Because the cristae is able to perform the oxidative phosphorylation processes. Entire electron transportation chain processes are going through on the cristae. So cristae are very important for the cell respiration or the entire oxidative phosphorylation process, and which expand its surface area. Anybody can ask why cristae is formed? Why? Because the inner membrane is expand its surface area by enhancing its ability to produce adenosine triphosphate or ATP. Okay, if the inner membrane does not making of these folds, the surface area is decreased, and also the ability to produce of the activity of the ATP is also decreased. So that's why the adaptation process to form or produce number of folds inside the matrix by inner mitochondrial membrane. So which is very useful for the enhancing its ability to produce ATP and also oxidative phosphorylation reactions. And these cristae contain stalked particles and inner membrane spheres. This cristae is covered with this inner membrane spheres called stalked particles or knobs or heads. Earlier, my dear friends, these knobs or heads we can call as oxysomes. These oxysomes first discovered by Leninger. So this sphere is very helpful for the entire process of the ability to produce of the ATP. And another important structure of this mitochondria is matrix, and this is very important, and it is the space enclosed by the inner membrane, gel-like consistency, dense, homogeneous structure, that is we can call as matrix, and which is having abundant enzymes related to respiration. And this matrix contain 2/3 of total protein of mitochondria. These matrix have enzymes, DNA genomes, ribosomes, tRNA, granules, fibrils, and tubules. And these are the structures that contain this matrix. The matrix is important in the production of ATP with the aid of ATP synthase contained in the inner membrane. The major enzymes included enzymes involved in the synthesis of nucleic acid and proteins, and along with this fatty acids also, fatty acid oxidation. And what is the unique structure of this mitochondria? These mitochondria are unique in their own way, containing their own circular DNA. Circular DNA. So this circular DNA and their own ribosomes, that is 70th type of ribosomes and circular DNA, contain this mitochondria. My dear friends, remember, two cell organelles are present. All eukaryotic cells contain these circular DNA and ribosomes, my dear friends. One is mitochondria, that is mitochondrial DNA, that is mtDNA and 70th type of ribosomes. Along with this, chloroplasts. Chloroplasts also contain their own circular DNA and their own ribosomes, my dear friends. This is the most important point we are discussing here. So circular DNA does not contain any cell organelles except these two cell organelles. What are they? Number one, mitochondria, and number two is, what is? Chloroplast. Chloroplast and mitochondria, these are the two cell organelles contain circular DNA. Remaining cell organelles does not possess this circular DNA. Okay. Are you able to follow, ma? Are you able to follow my class?
Girls, tell me.
Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's why the circular double-stranded DNA and their own ribosomes contain only two cell organelles. Except these two cell organelles does not contain any cell organelle, these double-stranded DNA, circular DNA, and ribosomes. Okay, so that's why this mitochondrial DNA and plastidial DNA is only shows extra nuclear genome or extra nuclear inheritance. Extra nuclear. Only nucleus contain these nucleic acids, that is DNA and RNA. Along with this nucleus, these two cell organelles contain nucleic acid, that is double-stranded DNA or circular DNA. One is mitochondria, the another one is chloroplast. The DNA in the cell nucleus does not code for the construction of mitochondria. Remember, my dear friends, the DNA in the cell nucleus does not code for the construction of mitochondria. This is the most important point, my dear friends. And here we are observed in this slide mtDNA. mtDNA means mitochondrial DNA. You are already studied in your 5th semester extra nuclear genome or extra nuclear inheritance. In the 5th semester, you are studied extra nuclear DNA, that is mitochondrial DNA and plastidial DNA and plasmid genome or plasmids also. And we are recollect the information once again in this class, mtDNA. mtDNA is a small double-stranded covalently closed circular molecule. This is the mtDNA or mitochondrial DNA. This occurs multiple copies. Okay. With the process of replication process. Okay, this DNA is also ability of the replication. It has how many base pairs? 16,569 base pairs. It has how many nitrogen base pairs are present inside the mitochondrial DNA? 16,569 base pairs. Most usually remains attached to inner mitochondrial membrane. And my dear friends, here this stores biological information required for growth and multiplication of mitochondria. This the mitochondrial DNA is helpful for the storage of the biological information. Whenever the required for the growth and multiplication of the mitochondria, it will help. And also this mitochondrial DNA is also act as a maternal DNA, my dear friends. Maternal DNA, not paternal DNA. It acts as a maternal DNA. Some of the maternal inheritance, some of the mother inheritance, it caused by this mitochondria. Remember, my dear friends. And it encodes RNAs and proteins that are essential for mitochondrial function. It codes 2 rRNAs and 22 tRNAs and 13 mitochondrial membrane proteins, my dear friends. And also this mitochondrial DNA is also helpful for the respiration, the making of the respiration enzymes. That is, are you heard about the term Rubisco? Rubisco is an enzyme that is helpful for the plastidial DNA. At the same time, in the process of respiration, that is photosynthesis, in this respiration, some of the respiration enzymes also secreted by this mitochondrial DNA and can undergo replication and duplication. These are the two terms, remember, my dear friends. This mitochondrial can undergo by the replication and also duplication process. Not absolutely autonomous, depends on nuclear DNA. That's why this mitochondria we can call as semi-autonomous cell organelles. Semi-autonomous, not completely autonomous, not absolutely autonomous, my dear friends. So plastids, that is the chloroplast and mitochondria, these are the two cell organelles we are called as semi-autonomous cell organelles of the cell. Semi-autonomous cell organelles of the cell by we can call as one is mitochondria, the second one is chloroplast. So this mitochondrial DNA not absolutely autonomous, even though this mitochondrial DNA depends on nuclear DNA. So nuclear DNA definitely helpful for at the time of inheritance and also metabolitic activities like secretion of the respiration enzymes. So this mitochondrial DNA not completely or not absolutely autonomous. That's why at the time of secretion of the enzymes of the useful respiration enzymes, at the same time maternal DNA or in the process of inheritance, this mitochondrial DNA depends upon nuclear DNA. So that's why this mitochondrial DNA we can call it semi-autonomous. See here, this is the spiral double-stranded DNA. This is nuclear DNA, and my dear friends, this is mitochondrial DNA. So both are quite both are helpful for the inheritance process, but the not absolutely inheritance or not absolutely by the secretion of the enzymes in the process of metabolic activities like respiration. So this mitochondrial DNA depends on the nuclear DNA. Here, inheritance of empty DNA. So here, this slide shows clearly explain about how this maternal inheritance. Mitochondrial DNA is inherited maternally. So that's why we can call as maternal inheritance in most of the animals, including human beings also, my dear friends, including human beings. So fathers only give genes to their children, but mothers give both genes and cytoplasm. Cytoplasmic genes, at the same time nuclear genes, my dear friends, through their egg cell. This is the very, very important point, my dear friends. Father can only give genes to their children, but mother give both genes and cytoplasm through their egg cell. So this is most important point. And since mitochondria are in the cytoplasm and reproduce themselves, they only are inherited from mothers. Hence, this pattern of mitochondrial DNA inheritance is well known as what we can say maternal inheritance. And geneticists have used this curious feature of maternal inheritance. And what are the functions we are observed? What are the functions related to this mitochondria? Mainly, the main function of this mitochondria is cell respiration. That is, we can call as aerobic respiration. The mitochondria use complex molecules and oxygen to produce a higher energy molecule known as adenosine triphosphate, that is ATP. The mitochondria are more abundant in the cell that contain a lot of energy, that is muscle. So muscle cells, our muscle cells contain lots of mitochondria cell organelles inside the muscle cell. And extra mitochondrial inheritance, that is empty DNA, and mitochondrial DNA contains plasma genes, that is extra nuclear inheritance or extra nuclear genomes. And my dear friends, the synthesis of empty DNA or mitochondrial DNA, RNA proteins caused by this mitochondria, and bring about gene expression through gene duplication, transcription, and translation process by our mitochondria, and synthesis of 13 different polypeptides in human beings caused by our mitochondria. Okay, and site of the several metabolic activities of this mitochondria. What are the sites? The outer membrane site. What are the metabolic activities? Oxidation of epinephrine, degradation of tryptophan, elongation of fatty acids. These are the reaction takes place on outer membrane of the mitochondria. And what are the metabolic activities of the inner membrane? That is inner membrane oxidative phosphorylation. On cristae, we are observed oxidative phosphorylation process, electron transportation chain, they complete this inner membrane. And matrix, abundant enzymes related to respiration, that is Krebs cycle useful enzymes, and beta oxidation of the fatty acids, and detoxification of ammonia, and these are the metabolic activities we are observed inside the matrix. And urea cycle, and ammonia in urea cycle, and storage of the calcium ions also matrix we are observed in the matrix. So this is the the mitochondria. This is the mitochondria outer membrane, and this is the mitochondria inner membrane, and we are observed this is the Krebs cycle inside the matrix, and acetyl coenzyme also activate decarboxylation process also we are observed in the matrix, and electron transportation chain we are observed inside the inner membrane, and glucose and glycolysis process we are observed in the cytosol or cytoplasm. So cytoplasm we are observed glycolysis process of the respiration, and the remaining entire respiration process or respiration steps like Krebs cycle and electron transportation chain and acetyl coenzyme decarboxylation process we are observed inside the mitochondria. Okay, this slide clearly shows about how ATP is synthesized. So ATP is also synthesized in the cytoplasm by the glycolysis process. At the same time, decarboxylation process we are observed in the matrix, and Krebs cycle we are observed in the matrix and produce ATP, and the last step, that is electron transportation chain, we are observed in the on the inner membrane of the mitochondria and produce lots of energy, that is ATP. Okay, and we are observed this is the outer membrane, and this is the inner membrane, and this is the matrix. So this is the inner membrane, this is the outer membrane, and this is inner membrane, this is outer membrane. The between two membrane we are called as perimitochondrial space or intermembranous space. Intermembranous space. So intermembranous space, lots of proton gradient. Proton gradient we are observed. Proton H plus is nothing but we can call that biologically protons, you know. So proton gradients we are observed. Proton concentration gradient we are observed inside the between the two membranous space, that is perimitochondrial space or inner membrane space. So in this inner membrane we are observed the oxidative phosphorylation process. These are the enzymes related to enzyme. The multiple enzyme complexes we are observed inner membrane for the oxidative phosphorylation. Then other functions related to our mitochondria. The other functions along with this mitochondrial reactions are functions: production of heat, that is the non-shivering thermogenesis. Whenever shivering, whenever we in the colder regions or cold environment, we are shivering. At the time of shivering, our muscles are going to fold and produce heat. And the role in apoptosis. Apoptosis also we can call as programmed cell death, my dear friends. In cancer cells, in the cancer cells, the role of mitochondria is very, very important for the programmed cell death. And synthesis of the estrogen and testosterone. This is the secondary sexual hormones or secondary sexual organs are developed by these enzymes, my dear friends. Estrogen and testosterone. Estrogen is in the female sexual organisms, and testosterone is useful for in male sexual organs. And role in neurotransmitters metabolism. Neurotransmitter acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. The neurotransmitter is released by this mitochondria also, my dear friends. And role on cholesterol metabolism. Cholesterol is a fatty acid, you know. Cholesterol is a lipid, you know, complex lipid. This cholesterol metabolism also by the function of the mitochondria. And role in heme synthesis. Role in heme synthesis. Are you heard about term heme? In red blood corpuscles, RBC. Okay, blood. So our blood is a red color just because of heme, you know, hemoglobin. So this heme synthesis by controlled by or coordination by this mitochondrial function. And role in cellular proliferation. Cellular proliferation. This is the most important in the process of menstrual cycle by this mitochondria. And mitochondrial disorders, and this is the most important slide, the mitochondrial disorders. So different main organs are organs of our body. So this is eye, heart, and digestion tract and brain, even though muscle cells. So these are the functioning of these important organs by these mitochondria. Whenever these mitochondria, these disorders or mutations in genes for mitochondrial proteins encoded by both mitochondrial DNA and nuclear DNA caused by some of the disorders, that is strokes related to heart strokes and cardiomyopathy related to heart, and neuropathy related to our brain, and hearing impairing, we are also observed by these mitochondrial disorders. So this is today's topic. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about glycolysis and remaining topics. Okay, is there any doubt? Please ask me, I will clarify your doubts. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? You ask me, I will clarify.
Yeah, sir. Tomorrow what time, sir?
Tomorrow
8 o'clock.
Today evening we are
Yeah.
Madam,
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay, sir. Thank you. Girls, MBC girls to join the Kavita ma'am class. Ma'am is waiting.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
BJC girls. Yeah, BJC girls, Joy, are you
Yes,
there?
ma'am.
Joy, I will take tomorrow class 9 o'clock. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, ma. Thank you, sir.